Welcome. I will not try to take any more of your time than necessary. I want to talk about how you're going to prepare for this. If you've not taken an exam before, I'm assuming you have actually done some study up to this time. You may be resitting it, and if so, I will also help you with that. So let's talk about what we need to talk about. Just see what's going on here. Is that someone else trying to get in? Right, I'm going to start. So what qualifies me to talk to you very quickly? I've been doing it a long time. Not only have I been doing it a long time, I have had various awards along the way for helping students pass exams in the specific area of SPL and strategic management papers. I've worked with the education team and the examining team for 20 odd years, and I'm their kind of official expert. They call it a tutor guru in the area of SPL. So yeah, and I run platinum approved ACCA courses, which is the highest accolade you can get for running a course. Now, the reason that I say that is because I meet lots of students who sadly put in the work but don't pass the exam. And the reason they don't pass the exam is they listen to all of these false prophets on Facebook and goodness knows where. It always amazes me that people, I mean, would you go to a doctor or would you just go online to diagnose an illness? I think I'd go to a doctor. But it's amazing. There's lots of free sites out there, have no credibility from the ACCA. You should check them out. And so my point is just be a little bit careful about all of the experts online. There's a lot of fake news out there. And to be honest, their website might be the only credible thing about them. Yep. So just be really careful on that. I'm not going to slag anyone off, but you can simply look on the ACCA website, look who is an approved tuition provider, or better still, put their name into the website. So put my name into the ACCA website, see how many articles, see how many links, see how much comes up. Put me into their YouTube channel, see how much comes up. Put those other people in, you might struggle, or you'll definitely struggle. So if you want to get hold of me, well, you've got an email, but there's various. LinkedIn is a good way which I communicate with people. I communicate with my students via WhatsApp, which is kind of people who are on courses, WhatsApp me 24/7. If you just want some free stuff, YouTube is a place where you can get access to a lot of free and relevant material. So have a look there. If you are procrastinating, not knowing what to do, I think if you want to take the September exam, it's possible, but you've got to do a hell of a lot of work if you haven't done some already. Even if you are retaking, got to put some work in. It's about 6 weeks till the exam, and it's time to take action. Yep. So what do I want you to be like? Well, what do I see in successful students? So obviously meet lots, 10,000 plus successful students. What are their characteristics? Well, normally they want this quite badly. Yep. So they, pull out all the stops. There's a reason that they want to pass this exam. It's not just like, I want to be an accountant. There's something they want to do. Yeah. Personally, me, I hated my boss. The only way out of my job, which was a good job, was to qualify, move onwards and upwards. It was, that was the only way out, really. So, thanks to a horrible boss, I managed to pass. Otherwise, I don't think I would have done. Yep. So you also need to be pretty structured and organized in your life. Yep. So, I'm expecting you've got a pretty good understanding of every waking hour. When you go to bed, when you get up, when you're going out with your mates, when you're studying, when you go to work. It's all in a structured timetable of living. Yep. When we do that, such behavior becomes a routine. When it becomes a routine, we need no willpower to do it. It's just like brushing your teeth. Yep. So really important to have structure. We have finite willpower, and to be honest, once it's used up, there's no more way you're going to get yourself to do things. So make it a habit. Yep. Also, this, although 6 weeks, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Think about how marathon trainers or any trainers, they think about their nutrition, they think about relaxation, recovery, but they also put the work in. Are you planned in that way? If not, get on with it. Yep. Also, psychology plays a part. So when you sit down in your study environment, which is nice and organized, boom, it tells your brain to study. When you're not studying, go somewhere else, but try to study in a regular place. So you're motivated, you're organized, and just be careful that you don't get distracted by all these gurus on Facebook and wherever who, to be honest, anyway, just keep away from them. If you don't want to pay for any courses or any help and you want to do it yourself, well, that's your prerogative. Certainly, I could never have passed my accountancy exams without the help of experts. In fact, some of them just dragged me through. I never would have passed. But if you're doing it on your own, please do it in a place where the stuff is credible. The ACCA now have some pretty good resources available on their study hub. Look at that, digest that. There are questions, there are quizzes. Go on to that. That it's had the eye of the education and examining team all over it, far better than all these people on wherever, YouTube and Facebook. So make sure you use an approved approach, approved resources. Otherwise, you're taking advice from people who don't know what they're talking about. So be very careful there, is what I would say. Practice on the CBE platform. Don't just audit answers, have a go at doing questions to time, writing answers, and see how you do. Yeah, there's lots of resource available via the ACCA. Again, have a look at that. Okay, also, if you've got any questions out there, jump in, put them in the chat box. I'll answer them as I go. Those people who fail a SBL also tend to regurgitate lots of theory. They tend to tell me about lots of theory. The sad thing is they have been prepared incorrectly because it's not a technical exam. SBL is an exam you can't learn, but SBL is an exam you need to understand and you need to apply it in the context. Yeah. So other exams you've done so far all require you to learn stuff. Not an SBL. Yep. So, yeah. Well, someone said they feel like they've forgotten the lot. It's all there. Just need to bring it back to the surface. Yep. Hopefully you made some summary notes. Notes that you make should be your notes written your way, preferably written with pen and pencil, pictorial, colorful. That helps keep it in your brain. To remind you why SBL is very different to other ACCA exams, it's the thinking, it's the rationale behind it. Yep, it's about application in the context of being a leader in the workplace. It's about being professional. Yep, that's what it's all about. Why do people fail? Well, just trust me on this because I see lots and lots of students who pass and lots who fail. I do this through the education and the examining team. I think one of the main reasons people fail is they do not strictly manage their time. They do not present an answer in the context of the marks, and they don't present it in the context of a struggling marker, and it looks a dog's dinner of an answer. And they also, when writing answers, don't do enough practice, or before the exam, they don't get feedback on practice. So basically, they're walking in the dark. They've got no one to guide them. They think they're doing all right in their opinion. Yep. You don't mark your own exam. Professional markers mark your exam, and you need to get feedback from professional people to know how you're doing, would be my advice if you want it. If we're looking at time management, what do we need to think about on time management? Well, if you have taken the exam before, in a minute, just something's coming up on the screen. Sorry, I must have clicked pause, didn't mean to do that. The exam has changed, but the syllabus hasn't changed, but pre-seen material will come out 2 weeks before the exam. I'm actually going to write my second mock based on the pre-seen material. So you should fully familiarize yourself with pre-seen material. The key thing about time management is you must have a budget. Now, I'm in the process of creating and rendering a time management video. I'll put it on my YouTube channel, so you can have a look at that in your own time. But really important, and that shows you how you can really mess up, even if you do quite a good exam. There's 3 hours plus 15, which is 195 minutes. Roughly, if we say it's a 30-minute reading and planning time for all the exhibits, and you take that off 195, you've got 165 marks to get, 165 minutes to get your marks. So if we divide it by 100, roughly, we are looking at 1.6 minutes per mark. Yep, that's what we need to do. So what that means is, and I'll explain more about this in the time management video, if we've got a 10-mark question, we're spending 16 minutes on that, and we're going to write start and finish. Yep. So just remember that. Time management is really important. You must treat your exam like a project management exercise in mark acquisition. If you do that, and you're very aware of time, you should be safe. Yep. What else? Well, reading the question, I think as one of you have already said, answer the question which is asked, not the one that you want to ask. And this can be difficult in exams, I agree, but break it down, label it, highlight the keywords, try and picture it. What does the story tell? Try and make it real. It will often link. I'll give an example of how I do this in the world of IT in a moment, but please do that. If you do that, that's a good way of making sure your answers are in a workplace context. Presenting it, make sure the marker loves you. White space, subheadings, small paragraphs reflective of the marks that are available. Yeah, that's the general thing that, although seems obvious, many don't do. And to give a good psychological indication about yourself, start strong. Yeah, imagine meeting someone for the first time and they kind of go, you wouldn't be that impressed. So it's the same when a marker meets you. There's no negative marking, but make them like you. A white space, well, this is an answer like this way or an answer this way. I hope you see what the better one is. In this answer, what happens, you make the decision that I want to mark for this, I want to mark for this, and I want to mark for that. Whereas in the previous block answer, the marker has to work it out for themselves. Okay. Any questions so far? Let's have a quick look. Okay, I will keep going. So that is what we need to do to pass. If I just remind you what people fail for these reasons: poor timing, poor layout, poor mark focus, and not enough practice. Hopefully I have explained that. To try to bring to life what I've just said, I want to focus in the area of maybe technology. So there's lots of technical, detailed stuff in the area of technology, but the way I would deal with it would not be in a technical way. So I just want to kind of skirt over the top of things and see whether you get what I'm trying to say. So let's have a little look. If we have a little look here, you're supposed to understand cloud, mobile, and smart technology, big data, machine learning, e-business and the value chain, and IT system security and control. Okay, lots of technical stuff on that. You need for SBL to have a top level holistical understanding. So let's look at each of those areas. So I'm thinking about cloud, I'm thinking about mobile, I'm thinking about smart technology. How could it benefit your business? Yeah, well, the IT can identify mistakes, diagnostic systems. It can communicate to people in one hit. Think about how kind of WhatsApp group works. I talk to all my students instantly, update them instantly through a WhatsApp group. Ring doorbell allows me, if I'm on holiday, to tell a bloke to put my parcel, in the bin. The Internet of Things records things, like the fridges that tell you when you need more milk and stuff like that. All of these things are things you're probably aware of, but don't make the connection in the exam. Fitness trackers, how many steps have you done? Yeah, how many calories have you burned? All of these contribute to your life. And you could get, okay, well, what's that to do with business? Mileage trackers, location trackers for salespeople and logistics companies, all kinds of things. Automatic cars. In many factories now, they do have automatic cars. They're just not licensed to go on the road yet. Big data, well, everyone loves talking about the 3 V's, volume, velocity, but to be honest, you're not going to get any marks for that. It's thinking about how, if you have big data, it could help your business. It's really useful in understanding customer patterns, buying patterns, to help provide better marketing. Yep. So don't just regurgitate 3 V's, maybe also understand about veracity, which links to fake news. Okay, machine learning, well, that is a big thing, and it's absolutely taken off with ChatGPT in the last kind of few months. Everyone's using it. Universities are panicking about it because that's how students are writing all their essays. But you need to contextualize it in how it can help in the context of the scenario you're facing. It's certainly going to get rid of a lot of transactional accountants. Doesn't mean accounting's dead. It means it's more interesting. Yeah, so you need to add value to the figures. It can be useful in kind of, under the sea where, you want to look at the seabed, you just send a robot down. Nuclear power stations, bomb disposal, all that kind of thing. It never gets tired. 7 days, 24 hours. Yeah. The value chain, well, again, have awareness of the value chain and think about how IT can underpin it. It's always on. It's global. It's almost just in time, so you can keep very low stock because the value chain is fully understood. It collects data for future marketing. It collects intelligence about customers, where they live, what they buy, what they like, loads of things. You could link it to the marketing and IT, so interactive, integrated, intelligence gathering, and so on. In terms of security, IT provides lots of security. Go back to the Ring doorbell. It motion sensors. It finds things that are peculiar in patterns. We can use security like facial recognition on our phone, fingerprint recognition, so they will be biometrics. It can track you at work. 2-step verification to stop hacking. So in a more digital world, we need better security. So I've very quickly gone through that. I want you to make sure you're confident to talk about such things, to try to visualize and picture things in the context of real life. So if you're stuck, do a brainstorm about how it is in real life. It really is as easy as that, as long as you then articulate and apply it. Okay, any questions on that? I've gone through that quite quickly, but I wasn't here to teach. I was here to show how you need to approach it. That's what we need. If you've got any questions on that or on anything, let me know. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So we have the confidence to brainstorm, and then from our brainstorm, we're able to take that information to help us think about things that we can then apply it in the context of the case. So all those things I've just said fairly quickly need to be done by you. As I say, the exam is not far away. 6 weeks will fly by. If this is your last exam, 6 weeks till you go exam free for life. Think about that. Do you want to be exam free for life? Well, as I said, how motivated are you? How much do you want it? How much do you want to sacrifice? Only you can answer that question, to be honest. But with the right approach, with the right focus, the right help, you can definitely do it. So I would be a big advocate. I'm not saying do my course, but I would say do somebody's course. And check out who does the best course. I have done, and hence written my course on the basis of that. But whatever you use to prepare, use stuff that the ACCA approves. Don't go and listen to other people. On mine, I use official ACCA materials, although I really think I'll give out Kaplan information. The stuff on the ACCA website, though, is very good. I've created about over 40 professionally recorded videos. These give summations of the key areas you need to know. They don't teach you stuff because it's a revision course, but they say, look, make sure you understand this. And then we go through lots of questions. Those questions have debrief videos that explain to you, you could go that way, could go that way. Equally, if you went that way and you said this, it would be okay, because there is many ways in which you can answer an SBL question. And hopefully I give you confidence on that. If you have any queries on any of those, well, WhatsApp me straight away and I'll get back to you straight away. I base what I say not on my opinion, but on my experience with the examining team, with sitting at every examiner meeting for goodness knows how many years. I give marked homework that builds up to then mocks. The mocks, I get people I know who are official markers to mark them, and they will be the people that mark your exam. And the final of these mocks, this time for the newly reformed SBL exam, I'm going to use the pre-seen material as a pre-seen for my mock exam. So my mock exam will be linked to that, which, yeah, I can't really say better than that. Okay, so that's what things look like. Got a question, should we do this exam last? Well, an interesting question, and thank you for it. It depends. To be honest, the way many people who've set apprenticeship courses up, so if you do this through a university or something like that, they might run it as an apprenticeship, and they tend to have put SBL last. Personally, it depends. It's a very different exam to other exams. I think you should try, well, it's a bit late now, but you should try to have done the Ethics and Professional Skills module before doing SBL, because it's very useful. I personally would do Advanced Performance Management if it was a choice after SBL, because SBL is very helpful in getting your brain in the right place. But there is no order. I think the only order of exams would be if you want to do AAA, you must do SBR first. I would say you should do SBL before APM, but there's no order apart from that in answering that question. So hopefully that helps. Yeah. But the key thing that you really must do, and you want to reflect, you did exams last time, how many marked answers did you get feedback on? Yeah, how many? Because if you haven't been getting someone who knows what they're talking about to tell you where you're going right and where you're going wrong, it's very hard to understand where you are. So try to do that. If you don't want to do a course, try to find someone who is as keen as you, maybe mark each other's papers and discuss them. But if you want an easy life, find an expert who knows what they're talking about. Yeah. So you want to get a hold of me? That's how you can get a hold of me. You know that because you've got an email. If you have any more questions, I will give you a kind of 2-minute warning, but I think we've had quite a lot of good comprehensive questions there. I would suggest, if you haven't got a timetable of living, to get one. I would suggest, if you've not practiced mock exams on the CBE platform, well, that is like not getting in a car before your driving test, and you must do so. I know some of the big tuition providers don't use the ACCA CBE platform. They use something that's not the same. So make sure at least you get some exposure. And if you do that, you're going to do fantastic. So be organized, be using the right material, be getting the right help, and hopefully you're going to be successful in September. Yep. If you have a look at my YouTube channel, you'll find a great video I've just recorded on time management that really explains how without strict time management, you can really mess up. Thank you for listening. Hopefully it's been helpful. If you need answers to questions you have after maybe thinking about what I've said, drop me a WhatsApp message. Okay, there is a recording of this for those of you who jumped in late. So again, I will put the recording of this on my YouTube channel. Okay, so thank you very much, and I hope you found it useful.